Video is a dynamic medium that can captivate, educate, and entertain your audience. In this video, you're going to learn everything you need to kickstart using Camtasia, a powerful screen recording and video editing tool. Now, whether you are a content creator, an educator, or aspiring video editor, this tutorial will equip you with the needed skills to produce stunning and professional-looking videos with ease. When you open Camtasia, you'll be welcome to this very platform. This is the home page and then you can have the land page where you can have a quick start guide and some tutorials for you to make use of. Okay, and then you have support option if you are interested in support, and then you can check out what's new in Camtasia. Okay, so the key things that they have. Okay, but from the home tab, you can start your project from here by clicking on new project, and then this is from template. If you want to start from an existing template that you can download and just edit according to what you are trying to create, or you can open an existing project from anywhere within your system. You can open and continue editing, and then you can start new recording of your screen from here, from this button. Now you can access the previously used or created project as well from here. You see all your projects that you've worked on, the recent projects that you've closed, you find them here. And then there are templates as well. You can have access to direct templates that you can start working with also from here. So, but for this tutorial, we're going to start a new project from scratch. So you click on new projects to kickstart a project from scratch. Now, this is the Camtasia platform. To the left here, you have a bunch of features that we are going to learn how to use in brief, okay, in detail. So you have the favorite over here. When you like a feature, you can start it and you'll find it over here. The media bin, this is where you drag and drop all your medias, including your recording with Camtasia, videos, audios, and images. You can drop them over here. You have libraries. In Camtasia, you have 2023 libraries, which is filled with different kind of features. There are different features. You find a lot of them here that you can use to enhance your editing. So we'll learn how to use some of them at the when we go through as we continue. So we have annotations where we can deal with different kind of text. We can add different kind of text and format them, arrows, shapes, different kind of blur effects and different kind of sketch motions. We have transitions of different types that we can add to our video. Okay, we have animations of different types to showcase emphasis and so on. We have behaviors to text and images and shapes also. We have cursor effects. I will show you how to use all of this in detail. And then we have some bunch of audio effects that we can attach and add to our audios to enhance it and even reduce noise and so on. Voice narration, I will show you how to use it in very brief. So this is the record button. If you want to record your camera and screen, you can start from here. Like I said earlier on, Camtasia is one of the best software you can use for screen recording and video editing. Okay, so you have this is the canvas. This is the preview canvas where you can preview all what you have. And then this is a timeline. I will explain in detail what are some of the components you need to understand as regards to timeline. And this is the properties panel where you have the property of each clip that you've just clicked. So to start with, let's start with importing a media. So we can come to media. You can drag and drop a media, or you can come to over here and just click on import media. Navigate to wherever you have that media within your system. And in my own case, I have it here on this Camtasia, this YouTube. I have this audio. Let's start with the video. I can select all of them. I can just click on import and I have them imported in my media. You can see it's been classified. These all are videos. If I want to add more media, I can come over to this plus sign. I can import from Google Drive or from this computer directly. So I can come over back to YouTube tutorial and then we can select images. These are some images. I can highlight them and I can just go ahead and import. You can see they've been classified as well as images, and we have audios. Okay, you can import audio and then we can come over here back to this location and we can import this audio. This is just background music that we can use through the tutorial, and you can see it's been also classified as audio. This is the audio section. If you want to add more, you can keep adding more. You can drag and drop also items directly from the folders into the media bin. And you can change the view of the media bin from this grid view to list view if you want it in list view, but I sometimes prefer to have it in the grid view. So this is importing media. You can drag any media and dump it into the timeline just like so. So once you drag and drop, you can see that the preview is being shown here. So you have the playhead. As you move across, you navigate through the media that you've imported. You'll be able to see the preview of where the playhead is at this point. And when you select any media, you'll see the properties of that media. If you can't see it, you can always click on these properties and you'll be able to see it. And what does this do is you have the option to scale it up. You can increase the scaling, or you can play around with the opacity. Okay, increase or decrease the opacity. You can play around with the rotation. You can rotate on your own, or you can change the position from here. You can increase, or you can put any number and it's going to change the position accordingly. So position, this is sizing with the width and height, and you can skew on any angle. So whichever one you don't want or you want to reset, you can do it individually from here. You can reset the settings, okay, or you can do the holistic one from here, or you can reset everything back to the default. So that's properties. You have it on any media that you've imported. So you can import as many media as you want. You can import any media of your choice. You can drag and drop, and once you drag and drop a media, you can drag and drop. Once you drag and drop a media, this contains an audio and a video. You can right click and say separate audio from video, and you can see the audio separate and the video separate. When you click the audio, you see the properties of the audio over here, which is the gain. You can increase or decrease the gain directly from here, or you can play around with the video properties. Again, when you click, you'll be able to see the preview from the canvas by just moving the playhead. So down here, this is a timeline that we are talking about. Over here, you have the tracks. These are track 1, 2, 3. You can add tracks by coming to the plus sign over here. Once you click, you add a track. And once you, over here, you can drag this slider and you increase the length and decrease the length, the size of a track, so you can be able to visualize it clearly, and you can shift it up so you have a much clearer vision of the tracks that you have. You can add more track, or you can on your own right click and say insert track above or below directly. You can do that, and you have a bunch of other features over here. For example, you can add quiz. When you are working, you can add quizzes, or you can click and you can add a marker while you are editing. While we are editing, I will show you how to add some of these. You can add a marker maybe to showcase something. Once you click, you add a marker and you can give it a description over here. Maybe add a color over here. Okay, so this is basically the general overview of the platform and how to import a media and bring it into the timeline, and then maybe do some very basic things. You can move media across, can drag and move them across throughout the timeline. You can move it, you can substitute, you can replace things. Another way to bring in media into this Camtasia is to record. You can record, and to record, you can just come to the top left over here and click on the record button, and you'll be welcome to this very platform. Okay, so over here you have the option to kickstart your recording, but you have to set in the screen size. This is the first one here is the screen capture. So this is screen capture, and then the second one, you can change the sizing. You can define the video frame rate from here. Usually I go with 30, but you can go as far as 25 if you're interested. And the sizing of where the screen should record, you can change it from here. You can enable or disable the screen capture, and then you can define the size by coming over here, and you can see the sizing is changing. If you want to have a custom size, you can click, and then you can be able to select the region that you want to define. For example, you want to define this region, and then once you define, you can lock the region and you can save it as a preset. Then you can say okay to this and you can start recording. But then this is one. The second one is you can define the camera. This is webcam. Okay, are you trying to record your camera, or you're trying to record with your screen? You can enable the camera, and you can choose between the multiple cameras that you have over here, and it's going to record with your webcam. Over here is the microphone. You can define the type of microphone that you want to use. There are a list of microphones. You can just select the one that you want to use. In my own case, I'm using the Rode NT USB mic, so I want to select it, and it's going to be my microphone for this recording. And then you can enable the system audio as well if you want to capture the system audio. Maybe during your recording, you have an audio within the system and you can capture it as well. So if you define everything, in my own case, I always like it to capture the entire screen. Okay, so I go with this and I say okay to this. If you define everything and you're certain with what you have, you can just go ahead and press on this recording to start recording your screen, and it's going to capture both your camera and your screen capture. Okay, so I've recorded something. Let me show you how what I've recorded, and we can import it into the media. So we can go to my library. I have a recording, let's say my footage. I have this recording that I've done, so I can just drag and drop it into the timeline. Usually when you record something, it's going to be inserted directly into your timeline. So okay, so you can see now that I have this footage, okay, compact, everything, the video and the audio selected. Let's say I press on this plus sign to separate all of them. So I have the screen recording, and this is the webcam, and this is the screen recording. Okay, so you can select and you can reduce the sizing over here so it fits to the screen. Okay, so you can see it fits to the screen. And then the webcam also, the webcam you can select, you can resize it. Okay, you can resize it to any size of your choice, and you can position it anywhere. This is manual. If you want to go with the automatic way, also you can select the media and you can play around with the features from here. Okay, you can scale it up or down, but because this contains an audio, you can see the audio properties also from here. You can play around with the gain and so on. You can play around with them over here. Opacity, position, and you can put it at the top. Sometimes in tutorials you see this, you can put the top, bottom, and so on. So it's very easy to move around with this, so you can have a smooth tutorial. And sometimes you may want to crop in some size, some part of it, so you can select it, come to the cropping option over here, you can select on crop, and you can drag and drop, and you can drag the edges so you have the sides cropped. You can see most of the sides are cropped, so you can select easily to move it by the side, and this becomes your tutorial talking head. Okay, so this is how to import a media, make a recording, and then you can have annotations of different types. You can add different kind of text. You can drag and drop a text. For example, you can drag and drop this text, and once you drag and drop a text, you have the text properties over here with this A sign. So you can change the font style. If you are interested, you can change the font style. You can change the coloration. Right now it's not so visible because of the coloration. You can change it to something like, yeah, white is good, and or you can make it red. No, red is not so good. White is good, so you can just select, change the font style. For example, we can go with something like this, and you can double click here and just like write something. Yeah, so you can select, highlight everything, and you can play around with the sizing. You can adjust the alignment. Okay, you can adjust the alignment, the vertical spacing, as well as the horizontal spacing. You can play around with all of these on your own. So these are some very basic text editing features. You can select and you can move the text to any point of your choice if you're interested. So this is text callout. You can change it to have, you can add different shapes also. You can drag and drop this rectangle, and then you can resize it. You can select and resize it. You can come to the edge over here and you can resize. Let's remove the crop feature and back to the let's remove the crop feature. So you can resize this, and the text over here you can select and edit it also. Another thing you need to understand is in rotation, when you click a particular media, you can see this small line. You can select and you can rotate via this small line. You can see you can select and you can make rotations, and if you don't want the rotation, you can always undo at any given point. Okay, so it's the same for all the other features. For text as well, you can do the same rotation. You can see it for shapes also. You can do it for arrows as well. You can do that. Okay, so these are arrows. You can drag and drop any arrow for showcasing anything, but they become better when you add a behavior to it. So for example, in this arrow, you can see the location. You can extend the period where the arrow should stay on the screen, or you can decrease it accordingly. But then when you add a behavior to it, it becomes lovely. And once you add a behavior, you have the behavior properties over here. When it comes in, how does it comes in? It bounces, and movement is bouncing, and the direction is the top. And during the stay on the screen, what does it do? Does it jump? Yes, you can vary all of these properties. And then on going out, how does it go out? These are definitions. Okay, so let's try to preview and see what our arrow is going to do. So let's play and see.
Let's say we can move around across this.
So you can see the movement on the arrow. This is just the behavior we've just added. So still on annotations, you can add shapes of different types. You can just drag and drop any shape anywhere, okay, of your choice. can add and drag and drop shapes, and you can play around with their properties also. You can change the color, the sizing, the position, and so on. And then this is blur and highlighting of some cases. Maybe at some places you may want to highlight some things. You can just drag and drop. For example, I may want to highlight this place, so I can just drag and drop. Maybe there's a text that I want to highlight. I can move it to that point. Assuming I want to highlight part of this, I can extend and highlight a specific place with this. Okay, and you can change the color of the highlights from this purple to this yellow color. If you want to use the yellow color, you can still do the same, and you can follow it up and edit accordingly. All right, so it's very easy to just signify the place, and you can go ahead and edit, change the coloration while still selected. Okay, and you can blur different kind of options, different kind of places. And if you want to blur a particular place, you can just assuming you can just drag and drop this, and you can see maybe there are some sensitive things that you don't want to show. You can easily use this to blur that part. You can see, so you can extend how long or what text you want to blur. You can blur, and you can play around with the blurry nature from here. You can scale the blurry effect from here. The intensity, you can vary it if you want it too blurred, or if you want it to be less blurred, at least so that people cannot be able to read what's underneath it. So that's effect. We can come to visual effects over here. Over here you have a number of things. For example, you can remove a background from this video. I can just drag and drop this, and it's going to automatically remove the background of this. You can see, simply drag and drop, and the background is gone. So you can see this is without a background. So you can play around with different features, but this is one of the best one to remove background. You can blur a region just like we've highlighted. You can adjust the coloration, also decolorize or thereabout, and you can put in cursor path definition. You can define adjust the cursor path if you drag and drop it. And then there is this drop shadow in case if you want to make a circle head. Sometimes you see this in tutorials. Let's kind of remove the, you can click on this small arrow to access the effect that you've added, this background removal. So let's say we remove the background removal. Over here we have our background, and we want to make it like a talking head that we used to see in some videos. So you can do this with the mask. You can just drag and drop over here. Okay, so you can see this is the mask. You can vary the sizing, so the opacity, the blend nature, you can vary them from here. Okay, so let's say we play around with the opacity, and then you can put in some drop shadow effect also, so that you can have this drop shadow. You can increase the offset, and then the blurry nature, you can increase it, and you can change the color of the offset as well, so it gives you this small pop-up basic editing. So you can see this is popping out clearly, and you have other things like keystroke if you want to add keystroke, or media mat, or if you want to define a given motion path, you can simply drag and drop this. Okay, and then you can be able to define a path. So from here you can define how you want this the movement from, this is the end point. So let's go back and say, so you can be able to see what we are talking about. This is the movement just from the, you can see. But then if you wanted to cover the entire thing, you can select from here and drag across, so the conversion or the movement is going to be slow but then consistent.
It's really it's quite interesting. Keeps you up to date with the use the test happenings around range. You
can see it's going to move across this line, and you can increase or decrease the movement. How do you want it? Is it very simple, or you want to change the angle or thereabout? You can play around with the feature from here. Okay, other features that you can use include this clip speed. You can increase or decrease the clip speed. Once you drag and drop it, you can come over here and you can play around with the clip speed. You can reduce the speed, and now the clip is going to move a bit faster, but then the entire length had been reduced. So let me undo on all of this, and you can remove color. Maybe I'll show you in detail how to remove color and use some other features as well. So let's remove some of those features so we can basically learn the basics of editing and Camtasia. So let's say we select all of this and reduce and remove. Okay, so let's go back to our main timeline. Okay, from here. So let me show you some basics of how to do editings within Camtasia. But before we go into editing, let me show you some of the basic things you need to understand as regards the timeline. So whenever you select a media, you're going to see its properties over here. Like we've explained, you have the tracks over here. track 1, track 2, track 3, you can add a track with this plus sign, or you can select a particular track and you can insert a track or remove a track directly. Okay, you can remove as many tracks as you want. You can just remove a track by just removing a track, just like so. So it's very easy to kind of navigate around and make changes. So on any track, you have these three things. The first one is the I menu, the I sign. Okay, this is to enable or disable a particular track. If you select the I sign, it's going to disable or enable. And then we have this lock feature. Once you lock a particular track, there's no changes that is going to occur on that particular track. And then we have this magnet icon. If you select anywhere within a track and you create a delete, this magnet icon is going to remove the gap in between any created by that cutting or deleting that you've made. We have this plus sign to increase the number of tracks, and then we have this small arrow to insert a quiz or a marker like we've shown earlier. And then we can increase or decrease the size of the tracks with this little slider. You can increase or decrease it. And then up here, we have the basic editing features like you can undo, redo, you can cut a particular track and paste it somewhere. You can paste with this, you can duplicate, you can paste with this, you can duplicate, you can copy a particular track, and then you can slice or split a particular clip with this. Okay, so we just click and you can now see that our clip has been divided into two. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, and you can create that split with the letter C anywhere. We just press, once you press on letter C, you can create that shortcut, that cut at any given point. So you can see we've created multiple cuts within our clip. Okay, over here we have this slider, very important. You can use it to zoom to fit or to zoom to any location so you can have clarity into what you're doing, or you can zoom to fit so everything is now fitted in this particular timeline. Okay, so you can always do that. And you can increase the zooming in cases if you want to make a cut and you want to go precisely from this point. For example, you select and you create a cut here, and then maybe you select over here and you create another cut. Okay, so when you delete this section of the video, it leaves a gap in between. Now, that's the beauty of this magnetic tool. If you enable it, it's going to cover that gap that you've created. So sort of like making it a ripple delete. Now that's one way. Another way to delete something is you can make a selection with this playhead. You can select from forward like this, or you can select backward with this side also. Okay, so once you create a select, you select a particular region, you can right click anywhere and you can delete the range. Okay, if you have it enabled, you can, once you delete the range, it's going to make it a ripple delete. But you can do ripple delete directly, which means it's going to delete and it's going to cover the distance, or the gap is going to live in between. So once you say ripple delete, it's deleted it, but then it covers that distance automatically. So that's the power of ripple delete. Now you can highlight some places also, and you can right click and you say deselect or insert a time or add timeline selection or silence and audio thereabout. So many things you can do with this, but once you double click, it comes back to normal. I mean the playhead. You can trim also from the edges, assuming we set this to fit to screen, and then we can trim from the edges just like so. We can just drag and trim a particular section. One good thing with trimming is that Camtasia memorizes everything. So once you click, if you want it back, you can always drag back and you have that section of the clip that you've trimmed backward. So that's editing. You can edit so many things. You can select and you can play around with the features as well. The video features and the audio features, and you can move any section of the video across. Okay, you can move it across and you have ease of access. Once you have this enabled, once you move a section, it quickly snaps the next section into it. So you can see it's very, very easy to edit footage within Camtasia. Now, another thing that's equally very important is the use of transitions. Now you can add transitions at any given point. So when you hover over any transition, you'll be able to see the effect it's going to have on your video. There are so many transitions. Camtasia 2023 has a number of transitions that you can apply in between clips or between one clip to another. For example, let's say as we are navigating from this clip to this one, we are transitioning from here to this. We can just put in this one. We can just drag and drop. So you can see how powerful that transition is. So you can select a particular transition that you've added, and you'll be able to see its properties as well on the screen. Okay, on the properties menu, you can see the properties. Okay, this action wipe, you can check and change some of the features as well. It could be within a particular track, like from this one to this one. It's very easy. So this is audio. We can move this to the back, and then let's say we want to add a transition from this to this, for example. So you can select any transition. Let's say we go with this flip side, okay, card flip. So we can drag and drop it here, and once we try to attempt you can see the transition is going to be, yeah, this is card flip. And you can do that across any kind of media. You can do that across this, for example. You can say from this to this, you can insert the same card flip. So you just insert this, and let's see how smooth it's going to be from this one to the next one. You can see the transition quite fantastic. So you can check the properties and change a lot of things from there. So it's just to give you that particular interesting. There's one that I always like to use, which is fan. Sometimes I like to use the fan, so you can search for it also if you're interested. I like fan, so you can just drag and drop it, and this is going to replace. So you can see. All right, so the next one is we can add animations of different types. Okay, let's say we want to highlight some section of this, so we can start with the custom. Custom is just a drag and drop, and you can see this arrow. At the point of the arrow, the end of the arrow, you have to define the action you want to show on the screen. So assuming at this point, at the end of this arrow, I want to highlight only this place. So all I need is just to make sure I select the media and come to the video properties over here and just drag and then move it manually to this point. Now this is what I want to show at the end of the arrow, this zooming. So you can see from the beginning, see the zooming in, that's the animation. It zooms into this, and then maybe I want it to keep going, and then at this point it should zoom back. So when I want it to zoom back to where it was before, I can just use the restore feature. So I can drag and drop the restore, so it's going to restore back, you can see. So let's try to see the zooming in and out. It zooms in and then zooms out. So that's the power of the animation. You can do that at any given point, and you can increase the length of the arrows. You can zoom in so you can be able to see them clearly. Okay, so you can be able to say, you can extend the length of the transition, okay, the zooming out, and then you can extend the length of the transition as well, the zooming in, so it covers exactly where you are interested in. You can move them across as well, depending if you're interested in moving them. And so this is the first one. You can scale up. Okay, you can scale up at any given point. Okay, from here maybe you can do the scaling up. Maybe you want to scale up to this point. So this is the scaling up. Now you can define exactly where you want to scale up. Assuming I want to scale up to this, and I can increase the scaling also if you want it to be much bigger than this. I want to show myself, so I can see this. So let's go back, and then you see the scaling up. Yeah, pretty fast. And then you can scale down also if you want. From here you can just drag and drop this. So I want it to scale up, but then it should stop from here to here and then start scaling down. Okay, so it's scaled down to fit. Okay, so let's see, I'm scaling up, scaling up and scaling down. So you can do that. You can follow along. This is motion path. We've demonstrated how to use it. And then the custom one is good, is usually the one I usually use, and then you can use it to zoom in and out to any position of your choice. So that's about animation. Behaviors, we've explained behaviors. You can add it to text, and you can add it to shapes as well. You can add to anything. You can just go to annotation, maybe drag a text. For example, you are explaining something on your screen, and you want to showcase that this is Control Z to do something, and you want it to be somewhere here. All right, someone should press Control Z at this moment, and you want it to be busy. So you come to the behavior, and you can start something, or you can make it drifting. So as you hover over, you'll be able to see the impact. So drag and drop, and it's going to be drifting. You can play around. Let's play it and see. So you can see Control Z, and then let's see how it goes out. It kind of flies out, but then you can change how it goes out and flies out as well by clicking here and having access to the feature. You can see the incoming, the during, and then the outside. Okay, the during, what does it do? And then the outside, you can change the direction from the top now to just bottom. Okay, so it goes out directly. And when you click out, you can try to see the going out. It goes out to the bottom directly. So it's customizable. You can easily customize it. Now, another feature that's very, very useful and interesting is the mouse cursor option. You can change the cursor effect from here. For example, this highlighter, many people use it during tutorials. So let's say we drag and drop this. All right, so you can see our mouse just turn into this. Okay, so you can see the selection over here, and you can increase the size of the circle, okay, or reduce it, and you can change the coloration if you are interested in changing coloration. But I think yellow does a good job because it's very easily visible. Okay, so you can see yellow, I think, is good. You can pop in, you can play around with the opacity also. How opaque do you want it? You can reduce or increase the opacity so you can see through. The softness as well, you can play around the ease in and out. You have so much control over here. And if you don't want this type, you can use this circle one, okay, because it doesn't cover anything. You can select it, and let's say we disable this one, and then we have the circle. Okay, so the circle, you can see, you can play around with the sizing as well. And it's very important to highlight things. So when you move, you can see the movement, things can be highlighted very easily. And then you can add the cursor smoothing so it moves pretty fast within the screen. And then you can check out the cursor left clicking effect. If you want a left click, after any left click, your cursor to behave like this, you can just drag and drop it. Okay, and you can see the left clicking effect. You can change the color of the circle from red to something else. And then you have right clicking effect. How do you want your mouse to behave? You can just drag and drop it. It's very easy and it's very cool sometimes. And audio effect, you can use audio effect to enhance your audio. You can put in the noise removal. Once you drag and drop, you added the noise removal very easily. You will be able to reduce the noise, and you can play around with the intensity of the noise removal as well. So let's say we come over here. So you can see the noise removal feature. You can see the noise removal, and you can increase the sensitivity or reduce it directly from here. So that's the noise removal. You can add in emphasis or audio compression. You can add all these features. Okay, you can drag and drop. This is audio compression. You can add emphasis also in your audio. You can add that very easily. So you can see now a lot of features have been added, and you can control them from here directly. Okay, later I will show you how to add in the clip speed, increase the clip speed, or add captions. I will show you also in this very tutorial. All right, so let's go back to our main timeline. And over here, you can do a number of things. Again, you can add the voice narration in cases if you want to record your voice over. You can just define how you can. Let's fit this to screen, and then let's say we want our voice narration to start from here. You can just set in your microphone. You can set in your mic, let's say Rode NT USB, and then we can vary the sensitivity from here. And once we click on this red button, it's going to give us a timer, the countdown timer, and then start recording. So let's give it a try. This is 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is a test of Camtasia screen recording or voiceover. You can press in this stop button and it's going to stop, and you can see a recording over here. So let's play to have a preview of it. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is a test of Camtasia screen recording or voiceover. This is perfect. So you can do many more things from here. Down here you can add in the gesture effect, and most importantly, these are some of the key things you need to understand when it comes to editing your video or creating video with Camtasia. The screen is detachable. You can at any given point you can detach the screen. Over here at the top, you can detach. You can change it from, you can make it fit to screen the content, or you can detach it. You can detach the canvas. All right, so it becomes independent. You can see it's now independent. Whatever you do, the canvas is now independent of what you are doing, and then you can reattach the canvas once again back to the center. Okay, you can see very easily. Before I start anything, I usually go to the preferences over here and just check on the preferences. So you can see in terms of general, you can check out some basic things here. Recording features, you can check out some very basic things over here. And the timeline, you can check out other features. And the project in general, you can check out some things. You can change the width and height of the canvas, and you have a bunch of shortcuts that you can use directly. And the best part of it is that these shortcuts are customizable. Okay, you can customize them depending on which one you use most often. In my own case, I usually use the timeline editing very well, especially the splitting all. You can always use, maybe I do the split all with letter S, and then the split selected media with the letter C. You can vary any of them with just a simple click. Okay, so you can just select and split all. Maybe you can make it letter F. Okay, you can see it's been assigned to something, but it's now automatically replaced. So if you are within your track and you select multiple tracks, once you select a track and hit on letter F, it's going to create that split for you across. So it's very easy and then nice to start with the preferences. Set out the preferences and the canvas details so you can start on a good note. So another thing you can pay attention to is the project settings. You can always change the project settings once you start your work. Usually it's 1920 by 1080. You can vary the different project settings depending on the kind of video you are trying to create. If it is a short form video, if it is a long form video, you can just vary the sizing over here, or you can go to custom and define it on your own, define the size on your own. It's very important to start with this, and then you can play around with the width and size of the canvas. This is very important, and you can vary the frame rate as well from here. So once you select, you can hit on apply, and everything now becomes part of it. All right, so let's say we were trying to create a very simple intro. So let's select everything and then move it a little bit to the side, and then we can go to the annotation. Let's say we go to the library and insert some background. So we can come to Camtasia, and then you can go straight to dynamic backgrounds. So you can select this, and we can, let's say, drag this into the timeline so you can see a preview of it. So let's say we trim this to the edge over here. We have to just want to make it a simple intro, and then we want to insert some lower thirds or some title. So you can come to titles over here. We can see a big title. You can just select any, and we can put it at the top of this. So we can select, and so we can come over here. We can just create something. So welcome to my channel, for example. So you can say welcome to my channel. So you can play around with the text feature over here. You can change the font sizing, the font style, the size directly over here, and the opacity. You can vary all this from here. Okay, so very easily you can play around with this in each of the three features. So let's have a preview of what we are talking about. So you can see welcome to my channel. Okay, so this is fantastic. So it starts the video with this. So we can maybe add a transition from there, okay, in between. So we can select all of this and maybe drag it down. So we can just add a simple transition in between. So we can add a transition. Let's close on this, and let's just add a simple. All right, so you can see after this, it just transits into the video. So this is perfect. The next thing is let's learn how to add a background music and maybe format it. Okay, so you can add background music directly from the media over here. We have imported some background music. You can see this. So what I usually do before I add any background music is I come over here. I create a track below the main track. Okay, so you can just right click if you want to create inside a track below. Okay, so inside a track below, so we have an empty track, so we can just drag this one and put it there. So you can see the audio, the background music. Okay, so what I usually do, I come to the audio effect, and then I can insert a fade in. Okay, so insert a fade in, which means the audio can now fade in from 0 to 100% across, and then I can insert a fade out, but then I have to zoom this to fit. So I can drag this to fit into the end of it all of my creation, and I can insert a fade out also directly. Insert a fade out, and then I can reduce the sizing also from 100 down to 0, so the music will flatten out. So you can select this and increase or decrease the intensity or the gain from here, or you can double click on any given point to create a point of increment or decrease. Okay, you can create double points if you want to reduce the volume across this. Create double point, and then from here you can select and reduce this size, or you can increase accordingly. So it's very easy to kind of create a decrease across. So you can create another point here, and maybe you can create the same decrease from here. So at this point, the music become louder, and so on. So you're free to go around and play around with it and edit and see. And you can play around with the clip speed, just drag and drop. And then you can increase or decrease the clip speed directly by just clicking on this arrow. You can come over here and you can click and hold, and then you can drag across, so you can reduce the speed and then the length, and then increase the speed of the music. Okay, so let's undo this. Now the last thing that I want to show you is how to add captions to your video. Captions, you can add them by paying somewhere, and then you can import them, or you can generate them on your own directly from here. So you can come to audio effects and just select add captions, and you can just drag and drop into your timeline. So it brings in this caption subtitle menu over here. So once you click, it's going to start reading.
So let's say we can move around across this.
So you can see it has created a section. This is just 4 seconds. You can vary the timing. You can reduce manually from here, so you have a smaller timing, or you can manually on your own come over here.
Let's say we can move around across it.
You can select and extend, increase the length of that particular clip, or reduce it. That section that you want to put the caption. Okay, so you can release, and then we are taking this section by section. So when you click here, it's going to start reading. So you can start typing over here. So let's say we can move around across this. Okay, so you can go to the next caption from within this arrow.
This is like ChatGPT being booked.
And you can reduce the length of also from here manually on your own if you're interested.
Tab, you can go ahead. And tab, you can go ahead.
Go to the previous.
And check out this is like ChatGPT. You go to open any window.
You see, and okay, so you can add anything, and the best part of it is you can select everything, and you can play around with the text editing features from here by just clicking on this. You can change the font style, the font size, the coloration, as well as the background color and opacity from here as well. You can vary all this, and you'll be able to see a preview of it. So let's have a clean preview of what we're talking about, how the text is going to be appearing on our screen.
Around across this and check out this is what ChatGPT if you want to open any window.
And I think this is perfect. So you can go ahead and translate or give the captions for all the video. It's kind of small, but it sends in the message and it's very easy to understand. And once you're done, you can always come to this arrow and you can see hide the caption view, and then the caption view is going to disappear from your screen. So the last thing that I want to show us is how to export our video and render it and export it into within our computer. So you can, once you are done with everything, you like what you see and you are certain and comfortable with what you have, you can always come to export at the top right over here, and you can export to a local file, or you can export to this much platforms, Google Drive, YouTube, and so on. You can export to all of these, and then you can export to local files so within your computer. I'm going to select this option, and over here this is when you give the project a name. You have to define a name, so let's call it training 1, and then you define the location. Let's say we are saving it in this folder, okay, YouTube tutorial, and then you can give a new folder also if you're interested. So let's say we give this a name, export. We select this, and then you can change the format. If you're interested in changing the format, you can go with move or .gif, but I usually go with MP4. You can have other settings by coming to these options. You can see all the other settings. I usually leave everything at default, and I have a very good result. So once you're done, you're certain with everything that you have everything. you can just go ahead and click on export to start exporting your video. So ladies and gentlemen, this is just a bit about how to use Camtasia 2023 for complete beginners. You can go ahead and kickstart and download and install it, and then give it a try and see and experience how it is being done. Okay, so it's something that you have to learn by doing to get your hands dirty to master it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. If you want to learn more about another software that can do editing of your video, you can check out this software at the top of this screen. Okay, I'll leave another video here. So see you around. Bye.